Hello, everyone. It's this week's Stocks episode. I'm Jam,
I'm Cons.
and we are two bros interested in finance. So it's a Stocks episode. You lead the way. I'll comment. Stage is yours.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. We are back in the pain, man. Back in the pain. And as always, we go through our GetQuin performance year to date. And as always, the GetQuin portfolio is in the video description if you guys want to keep track of our GetQuin and our terrible performance, of course. Um, year to date, aggregated, we have minus 12%. For my picks, that's minus 12.47. And for yours is minus 11.56%. So we're pretty even still, actually. Thank God for that. But both our picks were pretty terrible picks, I guess. I know, man. Just talking about the crash that's happening right now, I think actually exactly what we said or what we thought would happen happened, and we're mad about it. So, like, yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about this whole situation, like
I
markets
don't
wise?
feel anything. I just want wars to be over. Last year was amazing. I was thinking that this year was going to be amazing as well, but it's no. And welcome to the market. Welcome to the finance. Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty much a shit show right now. But I think last time since we talked, just mentioning it, I think last time we didn't really have I mean, stocks software crashed, right? Stocks crashed, the Iran war, oil prices went up. But the indexes didn't really crash yet, right? But now we also saw the S&P 500 had actually quite a strong drop as well. Year to date, we're down 7%, so that's a nice cheeky one. I think there's a little bit more air still left, for a little bit more. But we shall see. I don't know. It's unexpected. I mean, we expected it, but like, I don't expect to be right. When I say something, like normally the market proves me wrong. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's tough. I would just go over the stocks a little bit, our holdings year to date. Would start with the best one year to date. Actually, Netflix is in the positive, 2.68%. That surprised me. Doing quite fine, I think, overall. In general, I'm a plus, you and plus, right? It could be worse with the with the shit we've been seeing these days. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add towards Netflix wise. Nothing to add.
Netflix, not Netflix. What I can add for Netflix is, right? Netflix is one of those tech companies that wouldn't really get affected by anything, I would say, as long as their servers are running. They're not importing anything, they're not exporting anything. All they do is online entertainment. So they don't really get affected by tariffs, they don't get affected by, I don't know, chip crisis or whatsoever. So Netflix is I would say one of the safest bets in the tech sector, I would say.
No, I agree with you. Honestly, Netflix is. I don't see anything interfering with its earnings. So any upcoming earnings they're gonna have, I think they're still gonna perform amazingly, and I think people gonna see this in the next 3-6 months. And I think the stock price is gonna be completely fine as well. It doesn't matter what happens regarding Iran or the US. Um, Otherwise, move on to Amazon. Amazon year to date down 12%. Tough one, man. Amazon is really taking its time, and I think Amazon is really beaten these days. Honestly, I still like. I think I mention this every time I mention Amazon. I still say like, oh, I'm willing to put a little bit more into Amazon, and like, could be a good timing. Honestly, like Amazon is in a good buying position right now. I think. What do you think?
But to be fair, right now any stock is in a good buying
Yeah,
position.
yeah, it's
Tell
right.
me that I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me that I'm wrong.
It's exactly right. We are in these deep shit holes right now where everybody's
Yeah.
desperate and crying, but this is exactly the time. Um, Reminds me so much like what we went through, and we went through on this channel as well, right? Last year only. with the whole tariff situation. Like,
Yeah.
everything was in such
Same
a
thing
bad
happening.
situation, and everything was down in the shits, and nobody wanted to buy anything. Everything was apparently too expensive or too risky. And then 6 months later, right, especially like with Google or AMD, right, or ASML as well.
Especially with Google.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So, yeah,
ASML, yeah. Yeah.
Amazon, I would say, is definitely a cheeky time, to buy some extra maybe if there's some cash at hand, or, yeah, just increase your position. Probably not a bad idea. Google as well, down 13% year to date. Also had a major drop, recently, so it's down at $273 now. Um, yeah, I mean, I have nothing to add with Google, man. It had a crazy run, right, over the last year, from a
Yeah, I
365
mean,
days, still up
we were
75%.
talking about it, right? Yeah, we were talking about it. It's not that like I said the same thing about Rheinmetall. I don't know if we ever talked about Rheinmetall. We don't really mention
Yeah.
Rheinmetall, but we definitely talked about this private. Like I told you, Rheinmetall. Not that it's a bad company, and this goes for Google as well. Not that they're bad companies. It's just that they had their run, and their sentiments right now by the market is just they had their run, so they need to cool off. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not expecting much from them. That's what I was telling you about Rheinmetall. I even wanted to sell it. You kind of convinced me not to, but like you can see Rheinmetall now, or you can see Google now. They're just sideways. Even Rheinmetall is just like dropping hard. To be fair, but so it's the market sentiment. Not that they're bad companies. I think they're both amazing companies, but it's just the market sentiment. They had their run, and nobody wants to touch them anymore. That's about it. That's why we picked Amazon this year, because nobody touched them last year. So
Yes. Yeah.
they're gonna touch Amazon this year.
Yeah, I mean, like I just told you, right? I am, pre-video, right? That Amazon is only up like 26% in the last 5 years. But if you compare
Yeah,
this, with Google stock, is up 156%,
yeah,
right? So there's
yeah. You
massive
see,
outperformance. But yeah, yeah, let's see, I guess. But I completely agree with you on the whole cooling off phase. I think that's completely normal. You know, you make 75% over the last 365 days. You get to have like 3 6 months of cooling off, 30%
yeah,
drawdown, whatever you want to call it, and then you'll get a nice cheeky run again, hopefully, if the numbers are right.
yeah.
um but yeah, of course, still holding. Google's still my biggest position, by the way, in my personal portfolio. So, and I don't think I'm selling this in the next 5 years. Um, Continuing, Mastercard, also year to date, 14% down. It's one of the, I think it is actually my most recent buy. I bought into Mastercard sorry, no, Meta. I will talk about Meta quickly as well. But Mastercard was one of my most recent buys, but yeah, continues to drop. I don't know what to say, man. Like, value-wise, historically low. I don't see a problem with the company. Time, I think, is all we need. Time is all we need. But yeah, I think there is a
Everything
reversal.
is it's just like this war situation, and like people just needs to get used to the war,
Yeah.
which I said this before the video as well. I think this war, in my opinion, is different than the Russian Ukrainian or the Israeli Hamas war, because the US, the superpower, is involved in it. You are saying that people are going to get used to it. Again, I am the pessimist one, you're the optimistic one
Mhm.
here. And I hope that you're right. But if you're right, most of the time you are, people just needs to get used to it, and this can take like 6 months, as you said
Yeah.
before the video. So this is like all these minuses. I'm not scared, because if people get used to it, like nothing's gonna change in 6 months. Like we always say, if we start the year bad, like in July, we'll talk about it again. Um, and maybe it's not gonna happen in June this time, but July, August, maybe. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, completely depends on the sentiment and how you say it, like
Mm,
how the people take it in like 3 months time, you know. And
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just another geopolitical event. When I look back, like I think we talked about the same with what was it, Venezuela, right? And also
Hmm.
with the
Hmm.
like you just mentioned, Israel, Hamas, or Ukraine, Russia war. These geopolitical events, they still exist, right? Like nobody's talking about the president of Venezuela right now. Where is he? What's
Yeah,
happening?
nobody.
Nobody knows,
Yeah,
right?
nothing's. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah.
news just shifted towards something new. I don't want to be political or something, but they, of course, it's for news. They want to crave attention, right? It's the best, right?
Yeah.
Hook the viewer. And of course, this thing is right now the most biggest thing that's happening on our planet. And of course, it affects the economy, right? And especially Eastern Asia, because pretty much the whole of Asia really depends on this Strait of Hormuz, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's not even the US or Europe. So, but yeah, let's see. I think, or in time, it will be resolved, or there is no other way than resolve it because such a huge economy depends on it as well. I'm surprised that China hasn't really stepped in yet, because they depend on it really
They
majorly.
didn't. Yeah,
But
they didn't. They didn't step. Russia is very silent. China is very silent. Europe is silent in a way that they are not going to contribute to this war.
yeah,
China is silent, but I'm assuming that they don't wanna have anything with the war either, including Russia. So, like, it feels like America and Israel is alone
yeah,
in this,
yeah,
and
yeah.
somehow they
Agree.
need to figure it out. So, yeah,
Yeah, but like you say, eventually it will fly over and people forget about it, and eventually they find something new to hook onto. All right, something new that's
yeah,
exciting. So yeah, and yeah, otherwise I got nothing else to add. I mean,
yeah.
just
Neither
shows
do
that
I.
is good buying opportunity, I guess. Good buying opportunity.
Yeah, 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 yeah. This is what we always say when we see the crashes. Buy an opportunity. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, always. Otherwise, you cannot be in the stock market if you think it's the end of the world every time the stock market
Yeah,
crashes 10%. The stock market is not for you, right? So,
yeah, yeah,
I think that's fair to say. Bank of America year to
yeah.
date also 16% down. Also, I would say is in a perfect position of a little buy-in opportunity. Um, I don't have much to add for Bank of America. I don't know if you do.
Beautiful
SAP.
bank.
Oh, yeah.
Just beautiful bank. Buying opportunity. Easy as that.
Nice, nice. SAP also year to date minus 31%, absolute free fall. Honestly, these days, and I think that's a little bit software again. Salesforce I mean, Salesforce got pre-hit already, right? Way before SAP, so they're actually doing quite all right still in this whole in this crash. Um, but yeah, SAP actually worries me a little bit. I know, I think we talked about it in the past, and you told me this as well, I think on one of our recent phone calls, that I told you, oh, I want to buy it at 160 euros, right? It's way past that one
Hmm.
now. Um, and I thought about it, but I honestly, I'm not happy to buy it. I don't know why I'm holding back. I think long term wise, I'm nothing wrong with SAP. Um, but right now it kinda gives me Christmas tree vibes, and, I don't know if you know this Christmas tree vibe pattern, but it's just, straight free fall, and I don't
Yeah,
like catching free falling knives, It's like one of my
yeah,
mottos, don't try to catch a free falling knife. And I feel like that's
yeah.
SAP right now. I don't know why, but I wanna see some consolidation, man, like something happening.
Let's see.
Uh
I mean, SAP. We're gonna see.
Yeah, yeah. I think year to date, honestly, I think SAP totally has the potential to be all right. I have no doubt in that. So um we might see the low here very close in the future, maybe in the next 1 to 4 weeks, you never know. Maybe till the next episode. Um so yeah, I mean long term, that's where we're investing, right? And SAP I think is top tier
Exactly.
material, and
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't think if you have a thinking like an investment window of 2 to 3 years, I think this is a perfectly a reasonable position to enter.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 110%.
And I think the same thing I could say at least about Novo Nordisk also in the same. This is why SAP a little bit reminds me of Novo right now. Honestly, um, just what it might be doing, Christmas tree. But yeah, whatever I said about SAP, I would say about Novo as well. I think it's a good investment opportunity. And yeah, performing trash year to date. We shall see. Only the future can tell.
You know what I say about no this? I mentioned this so many times in the channel as well to you privately as well. I'm not gonna mention it again. I'm done mentioning it. I don't think Novo Nordisk is a good investment, but you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
you
know
know,
you're
you know
not
what I
a.
think about Novo
Yeah,
Nordisk.
yeah, I know you're not on my side with this one. But to be fair,
Yeah.
a rival Eli Lilly also had a really tough time. I think they sold off over 30% now as well year to date. Um, Although they are trading at a premium. Um, yeah, otherwise, man, I don't really have much to add except that I added on some on my Meta, and I think I did already say in the last episode that I added some Microsoft as well, and I just think those two companies um trading at an absolute broad discount. Like I think Meta, I started investing at under 20 p. Um, and with Microsoft, it's under 25 PE ratio, although Microsoft trades historically at an average of around 30, 35. So it's actually a premium stock normally. And yeah, I think long-term investments, I think my technology, I'm not super heavy invested, so I had a little bit of space. But yeah, what do you think? I don't know.
Nothing to add, to be fair.
Nothing to add. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
pretty I think it's self-explanatory in the next 6 to 12 months. I think we're gonna see their great returns, Facebook Meta and Microsoft. Yeah, otherwise, should we have a check at the earnings quickly that are coming up?
Okay, let's check
Although
it quickly. I mean, to be fair, with these geopolitical risks, earnings are just, yeah, whatever at
honestly,
this point.
we had some funny earnings. Like last week, we had Xiaomi earnings. That was quite interesting, which were quite nice, but there was like no reaction market wise. Like, I feel like there is barely any reaction towards any kind of earnings these days. Maybe it's because of this
Yeah,
geopolitical event, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, what can you do? Next week, we don't really have any interesting earnings, to be honest, anyway.
Other
Like,
than Nike. I always keep talking about Nike,
oh
on
yeah,
Tuesday.
Nike. Yeah, yeah. We have BYD on Monday as well, and Nike after close. Nike is actually interesting. I'm still a shareholder of Nike, so doing also,
Yeah, I know.
bro. Doing is like it's just yeah. I think sometimes like, is it worth buying? But as you can see, it's not. All right. Like I think it's still very yeah. In the long term, I think Nike is still a worthy investment if you're looking at
Yeah,
it
yeah,
as a value
100%.
investor.
100%.
And I'm just collecting dividends, and over the
Yeah.
years I think this investment can be interesting, but right now not really buying opportunity. I think Nike is also really premium, it trades at a quite high PE even though it's beaten down, and the growth is quite, yeah, it's okay. So
We
yeah,
shall see. We shall
yeah.
see. That's what I can say.
Otherwise, I don't see anything really interesting, man, regarding earnings or anything
Neither do
else.
I. We don't have anything interesting because of the war. As soon as this war loses its, I don't want to say value, but like loses its
Relevance.
effect on market. Yeah, like the effect on market. We are going to have boring and very depressing times, to be fair.
You know what's also, which I really wanted to mention actually, and I think is kind of important with the whole, not only the conflict, but it's also like the potential interest rate spike again. So like I think that's also shaking up the markets really, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of reminding me a little bit of 2022. I don't know if you how deeply you experienced 2022 stock market crash, but this was like the typical like interest, inflation coming back,
Hmm.
and we pretty much had 6 to 8 months of downside. So hopefully it won't play out to that.
Hopefully.
But we shall
This is what
see,
we
I
hope.
guess. Yeah, we shall
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. I
No,
mean, yeah, that's it.
otherwise got nothing else to add, brother.
Neither do I. So thank you guys for watching. It was this week's episode. Nothing much to talk about, but still a video. With your grandma, your grandpa, you guys already know the drill. Catch you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao, guys.